Canada has announced a sharp cut in the number of immigrants it allows into the country in an effort to pause population growth, marking a notable shift in policy for its current administration.
캐나다가 인구 증가 억제를 위한 노력의 일환으로 이민자 대상 영주권 발급 규모를 대폭 줄인다고 발표함에 따라 현 정부 정책상에 뚜렷한 변화를 나타냈습니다. It's Canada.
Yeah. You know, Canada, the current administration, the Justin Trudeau government, is known for having a very open policy on immigration, but this is a big 180 on its past sort of policies. Normally, what the country's done is they've reduced the target or the quota, you can call it, of what was previously about 500,000, about 500,000 people per year, down to just under 400,000. So it's about a 21% drop in the number of immigrants it will allow. And you might ask why the government is doing this. It's because it's a big issue in Canada because it affects not just the makeup of society, but just housing prices, social services. These are all costs that current Canadians are very upset about.
Yeah, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, when I think of Canada, I think of the melting pot, all these different cultures and people coming together. But I guess now
That's still true.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. But I guess there's too many people. And as you said, it's affecting housing and just everyday economic life. Yeah.
You know, this really hits home for me because I personally am an immigrant
You grew up
of
in
Canada.
Canada.
You know, I've repatriated back to Korea right now. But this it's a very hot topic issue in not just in Canada, but I think in other countries around the world as well. But there's already been an announcement reducing the number of international students and temporary foreign workers in Canada as well. So if you have plans to either immigrate to Canada or move there on a sort of permanent basis, you should take note of this.
그동안에 캐나다가 이제 많은 이민자들 오세요 했던 그런 정책에서는 완전히 180도 입장을 바꿔서 이제는 이렇게 이민자를 좀 억제하겠다라고 말하고 있습니다. 그래서 180도 입장을 바꿀 때 영어로는 It's a big 180.
Or do a 180, right?
They're doing a big 180. 이렇게 do a 180. It's a 180. 이렇게 180도라는 도를 말 안 해도 돼요. 그냥 180까지만 해도 그런 의미가 되겠습니다. All right. In an effort to do something.
Yeah, in an effort to do something means to attempt to do something, to try. And this is an example, I think, of a good example of spoken and written English, the difference. Because when you speak, this is very verbose to say in an effort to. You can just say to. If you look at, if you use a word processor and they have autocorrect, a lot of times the processor or the program will suggest changing in an effort to just to.
그러네요. In an effort to 하고 그냥 to 하고 의미가 같습니다.
It's the same meaning. So if I read the headline again, it allows the number of immigrants it allows into the country to pause population growth or in an effort to pause population growth. There's a little difference, a slight difference, but it means the same thing essentially.
I think generally speaking, the longer the sentence in English, the more formal it sounds, although it can get wordy. 여기서 in an effort to는 무엇을 하기 위해서, 무엇을 하기 위한 일환으로 라는 뜻이라면은요. 그냥 to 하면은 뭐뭐를 위해서 이런 이제 심플한 의미가 되는데 사실상 의미가 같죠. 자, 다음으로 notable.
Yeah, if something's notable, it's worthy of note or noteworthy, right? It's noticeable, it's evident, I think is a good word.
Exactly. Notable이라는 거는 N-O-T-A-B-L-E 눈에 띈다라는 뜻입니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. Canada has announced a sharp cut in the number of immigrants it allows into the country in an effort to pause population growth, marking a notable shift in policy for its current administration. Moving on, this is our next headline.
APT, a new song released by BLACKPINK's Rosé in collaboration with global superstar Bruno Mars, ranked number 4 on Britain's official singles chart last week, hitting the highest ever spot by a K-pop female musician.
블랙핑크의 로제가 브루노 마스와 함께 부른 신곡 아파트가 지난주 영국 오피셜 싱글 차트 4위로 진입하면서 K-팝 여성 가수로는 사상 최고 순위를 기록했습니다.
Are you a Blink at all?
I feel like I have become a Blink over the weekend as I was listening to this song over and over again.
So I'm completely obsessed with this song. You know, I went down. I believe you were listening to it a lot.
I went down a rabbit hole too.
Yeah,
and I love this song.
Well,
Love
if the number of YouTube hits are any indication right now, currently 173 million views. That's quite a lot.
Yep.
But this song. Let's start with the title though.
Yes.
I read it as APT, obviously, because APT is not a word that is commonly used in the English language, right? It's short form for 아파트 in Korean, but 아파트 is Konglish.
Yeah.
And if you watch a lot of these reaction videos on the internet, people, when they first see this title, they're like, apt? What is apt? Apt means to be able to do something, right? You're qualified. And little do they know it's the Korean way of shortening apartment. Although in English, you do abbreviate APT, like in your address.
Yeah.
You can say I live in apartment number 201, for example, right?
맞아요. 자, 이 제목 같은 경우에는 물론 이게 우리말 아파트이기 때문에 우리는 그냥 뭐 이거가 전혀 논란의 이유가 없는 그런 제목이겠지만 영어로는 사실 이제 대문자 APT 하고 점 이렇게 썼단 말이에요. 그래서 실제로 리액션 비디오라고 해가지고 처음 이 노래를 듣고 그 반응을 올리는 수많은 소셜미디어 영상들을 보게 되면은 원어민들은 거의 대부분 이거 어떻게 읽는 거야? 이런 반응을 많이 보여요. Is it apt? Is it APT? Is it what is it? 그리고 이게 apartment의 약자일 거라고 추측하는 사람은 거의 없었어요.
There were a couple I was pretty surprised
있긴
about.
있는데, 네, 왜냐 일단 다 대문자로 되어 있으니까 뭔가의 약자처럼 보이기도 하고 서양에서 이렇게 대문자로 쓰진 않아요. 아파트를 축약할 때.
Yeah.
네, 그래서 아파트라는 거는 상상을 못할 뿐만 아니라 아파트라는 이 단어는 사실상 콩글리시 우리말이라고 볼 수도 있습니다.
You make a good point. The fact that it's capitalized, I think, throws a lot of people off.
Sure.
And there's also a period at the end.
That's right.
So you think it's an abbreviation? Is it abbreviation? Is it is it an acronym? We just don't know.
맞아요. 네, 그렇습니다. 근데 사실 저는 너무나 감동을 받은 게 Bruno Mars 미국 가수가 아파트 이러면서 한국식 단어를 노래 가사 속에 또 건배 이런 단어도 나오고요.
Well, he
이런 걸
literally
한다는
waves
게
Korean flags in the music video.
이게 사실 얼마나 감동적인 얘기인지 여러분이 이제 와닿으실지 모르겠는데 사실 어릴 때 외국에 가서 이민을 가거나 뭐 공부를 하러 가거나 그러는 많은 사람들은 어떻게 해서든지 콩글리시 쓰지 않으려고 한국 악센트 없애려고 많이 노력을 하면서 살아왔는데 지금 이게 국력이고 한류의 힘 아니겠어요? 야, 오히려 이제 한국식 표현을 영어 원어민들에게 가르쳐 주는 거예요. So tell us why it's called 아파트.
Well, it's based
APT.
off the drinking game, right?
Yes.
아파트. If you're Korean, you're probably familiar with this game. But the way this song was written was very organic. I think Rosé was just simply explaining this game to Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars, they're both on the same signed to the same label in the U.S. And Bruno said to Rosé, "Hey, just send me 3 songs so I can listen to it." And she was thrilled because I believe she personally is a fan of Bruno Mars.
She seems
as
to be,
well.
yeah,
But
exactly.
and that's how the rest is history, as they say, right?
맞습니다. 그래서 술 마실 때 하는 게임 아파트를 로제 씨가 직접 너무나 좋아하기도 하고 팀 멤버들 외국 멤버들에게 가르쳐 주기도 하고 그러다가 너무나 외국 친구들이 좋아하니까 이걸로 노래 한번 만들어 볼까 해서 시작이 됐다고 하고요. 그리고 이제 브루노 마스와의 콜라보레이션에서 브루노 마스도 처음에는 What does APT mean? What is this? 이렇게 해서 물어보니까 또 역시 브루노 마스한테도 가르쳐주고 뮤직비디오에서도 요 드링킹 게임을 하는 장면이 있습니다.
Yeah, the big now question mark is where, because it hasn't charted on the Billboard Hot 100 yet.
Not yet,
And that's
but I think
expected
it
to
will
come out
soon.
very soon.
Yep.
And we'll see how high it gets on those charts.
Exactly. 자, 그래요. 이제 곧 빌보드 휩쓸 것 같습니다. It's so catchy. What is the release of a song?
So in this situation, when you release an album, when you release a title or a song, it's to make available to the public.
Exactly. Release a song. 노래를 발표하다, 발매하다라는 뜻이 되겠고요. 그걸 또 명사로 it's a release라고 표현할 수도 있어요. 물론 여기서는 동사지만. 자, 그 다음에 in collaboration with someone.
Collaboration is working with someone or others to produce or create something.
Yeah.
Something. So in slang, this is often shortened to collab, right? Rosé did a collab
Yep.
with Bruno Mars. It was a collaborative effort.
That's right. 누구와 협력해서 했다. 누구와 함께 했다. 우리도 외래어로 그냥 콜라보레이션 뭐 이렇게 말하기도 하잖아요. 그래서 그 로제와 브루노 마스가 함께 불렀다라는 의미로 보시면 되겠습니다. 저는 지금 감히 좀 예측을 하자면은 강남 스타일 다음으로 가장 큰 K-pop 노래가 되지 않을까. 왜냐면은 일단 너무 따라 부르기 쉬운 노래고 지금 반응이 너무너무 뜨거워요.
I feel like you're a Bruno Mars fan, and I think that's why this is hitting you more personally.
I'm a fan of both.
Of both, okay.
singers, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
그래요.
But K-pop has been, been in the spotlight for
Yeah.
years now.
True.
Yeah.
That is true. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. 영어식으로 이제 로제도 인터뷰에 나가서 My new song APT 이러면서 얘기를 하기 때문에 아파트를 영어식으로는 APT 이렇게 읽겠습니다. APT, a new song released by BLACKPINK's Rosé in collaboration with global superstar Bruno Mars, ranked number 4 on Britain's official singles chart last week, hitting the highest ever spot by a K-pop female musician. And here's our final headline.
A restaurant in Italy has sparked outrage after it charged €6, or about 9,000 won, to have its pizzas sliced and put in takeaway boxes.
이탈리아의 한 가게가 고객이 주문한 피자를 자르고 포장하는 비용으로 6유로, 우리 돈으로 약 9,000원을 추가로 청구해 사람들의 원성을 샀습니다. That's a lot of money for packaging.
You know, one thing I've learned is you do not mess with pizza.
In Italy.
In Italy.
Yes.
And this is another example. So what happened was a customer was given a receipt for his dinner and noticed that there were extra charges. And this happened in the northern Italian province of Trentino. When he asked what these charges were, what the owner said was that he and his companions asked to have their pizzas cut into slices and put into boxes, so they had to pay this extra fee. And what the restaurant owner is saying that they're not a pizzeria by the slice. So it's a paid service that they need to charge or pay more money for. So not the first time, again, an eatery in Italy has sparked outrage for their add-on charges. A diner was reportedly charging customers extra for an extra spoon. One whole euro for that. And another couple was charged €2 for an empty plate so their daughter could try the pasta at an Italian restaurant last year. So.
Okay, well, all of this has sparked outrage.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you spark outrage, you cause a strong feeling of anger and shock, or you're inciting this sort of resentment, because to spark means to provoke or set off, right?
네, 분노를 불러일으키다, 원성을 사다라는 뜻인데요. Spark, outrage. outrage.
Right. And outrage, of course, is a strong feeling. That's typically a normal response, but rage is a more extreme, sort of uncontrolled form of anger, I think.
Yes. And what about takeaway boxes?
A takeaway box. So it's a container that you package food in that was previously ordered, but you want to take it somewhere else, to eat somewhere else.
Yeah, I think the term that's mostly used in North America is takeout.
Takeout in Americans call it takeout. I think the UK say takeaway.
Takeaway, yeah.
Right. To-go boxes, I think,
To-go.
in Korea, or I'll have it to go, right?
포장이라는 뜻이에요. 우리가 미리 전화해가지고 포장 주문하려고 하는데요. 저도 가끔 동네 피자 가게 전화해가지고 포장 주문할게요 하고, 그럼 거기서 네, 뭐 20분 후에 오세요 이런 식으로 얘기를 하거든요. 그 포장이 이제 북미권에서는 take out, to go 이런 단어를 좀 많이 쓰고, 그다음에 영영방 국가에서는 take away라는 표현을 많이 씁니다.
Another common expression in the US is a doggy bag.
A doggy bag, yeah.
Can I get a doggy bag to go?
Yeah. I think that's also when you've dined at the restaurant, isn't it?
Exactly.
it's
It's
a bit-
leftovers, specifically with leftovers.
아,
Yeah.
그러네요. 예, doggy bag는 포장 주문을 해서 하는 게 아니라 식당에서 음식을 먹었는데 매장에서 먹고 남은 음식을 내가 들고 가고 싶다
Yeah.
라고 할 때 Can I get a doggy bag please?
Yeah, it's becoming more common in Korea too now, but I found that people are a little more averse to taking leftovers home from a restaurant in Korea. Maybe because a lot of the food is communal.
Maybe.
But in the US, it's a very common sight. Plus, the portions are huge in the
yeah.
US, so it's impossible to finish your meal. So it's very common to take leftovers home.
그러네요. 양도 많고 아깝고 하니까 미국에서는 많이들 싸간다고 합니다. 식당 매장 내에서 먹고 난 후에. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. A restaurant in Italy has sparked outrage after it charged €6 or 9,000 won to have its pizzas sliced and put in takeaway boxes. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning.